before we get to the fun question, I'm going to ask a second fun question for you. What do you think is one of the most near term yet coolest potential technologies that you're thinking might erupt here shortly?
I think probably personal aircraft. So, you used to look at like flying cars and stuff. And the point was a car is that, a person could just move themselves about pretty readily with a car. So you talk about flying cars back in probably the 60s and 70s. Well, you start to look at a couple technologies now that are pretty impressive. So drones are really impressive now. In Baltimore, we have a company that flew the first organ transplant from University of Maryland called Mission Go, and big commercial drones, and they're able to fly organs, and they're unmanned, right? But that same drone technology, you're now starting to see personal aircraft that are following that drone technology. And then they also have, like Rocket Man, they have rocket packs. I think the British military just did something this past week where they passed a guy along several boats to get onto a cruiser with a rocket pack. So, between rocket packs, but probably closer to drone technology without the combustibles, I think people will end up having personal flying crafts here pretty soon, which will make the short-term commute really nice too. But I don't know how I think it's the FCC or that regulates, or what's the FAA or that regulates the airspace. I don't know if they're going to be letting humans fly all over the place. We can't even get our drones. We have a couple of buildings in Baltimore, and we have an initiative to fly our computers back and forth so that we can keep our IT warehousing in one location, and then we have 2 offices in other places. And I wanted to be able to drone our computers, and we're trying to figure that out because we can follow train tracks. You can go anywhere that you can have line of sight. And so there's some place we can go, but you can't cross overhead of humans, right? So that's we have to cross 2 streets to go between the buildings. So we'll see how it's possible. But in the future, there's going to be drones all over the place, just doing a lot of short-term delivery. Cars are very inefficient, right? I mean, you can only operate on a single plane, whereas drones, you can operate on a multitude of planes above, a city. So I think that's a technology that's going to be littering our skies pretty soon. But there's a bunch of them. I mean, just you look at like telehealth, telemedicine's huge this year. E-commerce is absolutely exploding, and these are things that are happening right now. Cyber, I've never seen more security products come out for cyber than in this past year and ever before. So, we all know the turn of the century was a big revolution in technology, but I think the pandemic has also been one similarly.